So now you're in a place where we can begin to make a plan going forward. So you want that balance between action and relaxation. So now we've found it. We've done some hard action with our progressive relaxation, and now we're in the relaxed state. But on a daily basis, how can you do this for yourself? So your physical activity action plan needs to start with something you enjoy. So maybe you're already into sports and that's something you feel really passionate about. So you've kind of got that covered. But you might also want to add something that's just for you. It's not to actually compete in any way. One of the pieces that you need to watch out for is that you're not competing against someone else to come into this practice of taking care of yourself physically. You can compete against yourself, sort of keep a marker of how many reps you can do, or maybe how long you've been able to exercise, in terms of minutes before you need to take a break. So that's okay to compete against yourself, but don't involve anyone else, because this is for you and your own mental health. You have a unique system. You don't have to compare it to anybody else's. And then for those of us who it's harder to get going if we're not already involved in something, trust that once you get moving, things are going to feel better. Sometimes it can take upwards of 3 to 6 weeks to really notice a big shift in our mental health. But once you start moving, that's the hardest part, is just beginning. And it's just 10 to 15 minutes, maybe even only 3 times a week. See if you can build it up to 5 times a week. But see what's possible for you each day. But start small, keep going, trust it's going to make a difference. And then here's the cool piece, is it's going to start to become a habit. Remember that little mental track that we were making? Like the first time you went through the forest of your brain, it was really hard to bushwhack through and make progress. But then as soon as it becomes a habit, it's easy go-to. You don't have to think about it. Movement can be like that too. Physical activity can become a habit just by starting small and keep going. That's neuroplasticity for you. So our next step is to actually see what's possible for you, creating your own action plan. Everybody's going to get one of the little worksheets, and just go ahead and list out some things that you really enjoy, that you might be intrigued by. Having things be fun makes them much more compelling. And then you can go ahead and see what kind of barriers are there for you, and see what kind of plan you can come up with to overcome those barriers, giving yourself a few little bite-sized goals to get to along the way. Okay, now is time to start moving on to the next question if you haven't already. Keep going, and just really think honestly about what's possible for you. Okay, we're coming down the home stretch here, just seeing what kind of obstacles might come up and seeing if you can pre-plan for them. That's part of the action. Right, now we're finishing with the sweet stuff, which is how do you let yourself know you are on the right path? What are you noticing feels good? And how do you make yourself feel extra good with a little sweet reward? This is the last step, so if you're not here yet, you can finish this up on your own, but the video is going to end in just a minute. Awesome. So you figured out a little plan that you've created here. And hopefully you talked with some friends about ways to solve the problems if you didn't have something that came up easily to you. You can always alter this plan. Nothing's written in stone. But what this is a little guidepost for you, because throughout your days, energy is going to ebb and flow. You're going to have bigger challenges or smaller challenges. And this is something to help you keep on track with creating a lovely mental health playing field for yourself. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect every day, but every time you try is going to matter. And I hope that you get support from friends and other people in your life to make sure that you get yourself what you need to really be the most successful. And physical activity is a big part of our mental health. And take a minute to watch the video that I've got at the end of this, because it's so true. Success isn't linear. Like I said, we're going to have ups and downs in our whole life. And so giving ourselves the gift of grace, meaning forgiving ourselves when we're not perfect, but always saying, hey, let's try again tomorrow. Staying kind to yourself, staying curious about what's possible without having to get upset about it. So notice how you feel after you've done some physical activity and see if that's a good reward along with all those delightful chemicals that your brain is going to produce for you when you get active and have a good time. Be well.